Hello everyone, welcome back to a new post today, and I hope you all are doing wonderfully well. So recently there was another feather to the cap of India's international diplomacy, where India piloted a resolution in the United Nations and it was adopted by absolute majority of 190 sponsorship countries. So commemorating the 75th anniversary of the International Day for UN Peacekeepers, the Indian Army also recently commemorated the day by paying homage to the fallen heroes at the National War Memorial at New Delhi. And in this and to commemorate the event, it was India who actually piloted a resolution to build a memorial wall for the fallen peacekeepers, and this was given by India, and it was supported by absolute majority of with 190 countries supporting the resolution that was given by India. So it only shows that India's win in international diplomacy and the amount of support that India is getting in the United Nations body itself. So the 75th anniversary of the International Day for UN Peacekeepers was commemorated at home at New Delhi. Now, the UN Charter of United Nations Security Council gives the UNSC the power and the responsibility to take collective action to maintain international peace and security, and the peacekeeping operations of the United Nations emanate from this provision of the United Nations Charter. The United Nations General Assembly recently adopted a resolution that aims to build a new memorial wall for the fallen peacekeepers, and this was piloted by India. India piloted the resolution at the United Nations General Assembly to establish this memorial wall for the fallen peacekeepers, commemorating 75th celebration of International Day for UN Peacekeepers, where India is one of the largest contributors to the peacekeeping mission. Now, the resolution recorded a support of 190 countries, and it is only the testimony of the faith in India's contributions to the United Nations and also the intentions of India. Now, the draft resolution of the Memorial War for the Fallen United Nations Peacekeepers was introduced by India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Ruchika Kamboj, at the United Nations General Assembly, and it was adopted by consensus. Now, May 29th, 1948 was the first day that was celebrated, and it was on this day that the first UN peacekeeping mission, called as the United Nations Truce Supervision Organization, or the UNTSO, began operations in Palestine. And this is a very important point from your preliminary point of view. The International Day for the United Nations Peacekeepers serves as an opportunity to recognize the invaluable contribution of the peacekeepers from various countries. Of India also is a largest contributor to this, and they work tirelessly to promote stability and security in the conflict-affected regions of the world. And United Nations, being an international body whose aim is mainly to maintain peace and security, has the utmost important responsibility to maintain peace and security in all the member countries of the globe. Now, the country has contributed almost 2,75,000 troops to the peacekeeping missions so far, with around 5,900 currently deployed in 12 UN missions. Let's have a quick roundup of what has been India's contributions and also certain feats that India achieved with regard to peacekeeping operations in the United Nations. And this is one of the ground and the basis that India puts forward to fight for its membership as a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. India has been one of the largest contributors of the United Nations peacekeeping operations since their inception in 1948. India has a very long history of service in the US peacekeeping and has contributed more personnel than any other country, let me tell you. To date, almost 2,53,000 Indians have served in 49 of the 71 UN peacekeeping missions, and which was established around the world in 1948, the first one in Palestine. Currently, there are 5,500 police from India who have been deployed to the United Nations peacekeeping missions, and India is the fifth highest contributor of troops to the United Nations. Additionally, India has been the first nation to send an all-female contingent to a UN peacekeeping operation in Liberia in 2007, very recently. Earlier, three Indian peacekeepers were honored with the UN Dag Hammarskjöld Medal for Supreme Sacrifice. They were Head Constables Shishupal Singh, Sanwala Ram Vishnoi of the BSF, who lost their lives when they were serving under the UN flag last year in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And in addition, it is Shabir Tahir Ali, who was employed in a civilian capacity with the United Nations Mission Assistance Mission in Iraq, or the UNAMI, and also posthumously was awarded the Dag Hammarskjöld Medal by the United Nations. It is also noteworthy that India pledged one infantry battalion group and also a corvette with a helicopter as hard power, an engineer company and signal company as force enablers to be deployed at the behest at the United Nations. India's Army Center for UN Peacekeeping trains more than 12,000 troops every year to impart niche training in peacekeeping operations. The center regularly dispatches mobile training teams to friendly countries as a part of its capacity building in the field of United Nations peacekeeping training, and also hosts foreign delegations as a part of the sharing of best practices as well. India has a very long history of UN peacekeeping service providers from its troops and has contributed more personal than any other country, and this I've already told you. So moving forward, also India is the fifth largest troop provider, and India chaired India's contribution to the peacekeeping began with its participation in the United Nations operations in Korea first in the 1950s. India's mediatory role in resolving the stalemate over the prisoners of war in Korea led to the signing of the armistice that ended the Korean War, and India is definitely a contributor to ending the Korean War as well. India chaired the five-member Neutral Nations Repatriation Commission, while the Indian custodian force supervised the process of interviews and repatriation that followed as well. UN entrusted the Indian Armed Forces with the subsequent peace missions in Middle East, Cyprus, Congo, and also Zaire. India has also chaired the three international commissions for supervision and control for Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, established by the 1954 Accords on Indo-China. A total of 175 Indian peacekeepers have died so far while serving the United Nations. And finally, India has lost more peacekeepers according to a report than any other UN member state. So India's contribution to the peacekeeping mission has definitely been phenomenal, and this is another most important win for India at the United Nations, where its resolution to build a new war memorial for the soldiers is adopted by an absolute majority of 190 countries, only showing the faith and trust in India. And also this favors well for India to have its permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council as well. I hope this information was really helpful to you all and will help you to write a very good essay or an answer on India's contributions to the UN peacekeeping mission. And if you did, please do like, share, subscribe, and I shall see you in my next post. Until then, very happy learning.